and we've been involved in this over a period of 3 years. Not constantly, thank the Lord, but over the past 3 years, Graham and I have been quite heavily involved in it. So this is the dig that our guys from Canterbury Archaeological Trust were involved in 1992, so over 20 years ago. That's the trench that they were down, right? So they're down deep in that. They find another bit of wood, right? Get down here, so we're now 6 metres down. They find another bit of wood. And Keith Parfitt, who was the director of this dig, so he said to his mate Barry, his site assistant, Barry, I think we've got trouble. Because this piece of wood was very deep down, so therefore they knew it was going to be really old, and it was quite substantial. Okay? So trouble, meaning we're supposed to be out of here today, what are we going to do? So they explored a bit further, and this is what they found, right? They found the end of a boat, a quite substantial boat, and this picture was about a third of it. So this is all oak, and because it's so deep, it's below sea level, and it's been preserved. The archaeologists were allowed to carry out the whole excavation, and they were doing it round the clock. So at night, day, you'd find 3 people down in that trench trying to uncover this rather remarkable discovery. And that's it when it was cleaned up. But bear in mind, so this is one end here, it's split, that's the centre of the boat. But you've still got these, they're called withies, they're like stitches on the sides there. These are called pleats. But an amazing construction. They managed to get 2/3 of it out in the end, but a third of it is still underneath one of the buildings in Dover. And now it's on display in Dover Museum. Have any of you been to the gallery? Yeah, okay. So it has its own gallery. For those of you who haven't been there, it's got a very nice roundhouse, Bronze Age roundhouse there, like full size cutaway. Activities for children and so forth. So it's well worth a visit. This is unique, you know. You don't get another one of these in this country or anywhere else in the world. It's an amazing discovery. What we're about to do really is the result of developing some start-up materials for schools use in the UK, the same kind of materials that will be used in France and Belgium.
In the middle of this project came, in a sense, for us, a kind of a lucky incident.
Yeah.
For teachers, perhaps not a lucky incident, which is the change to the national curriculum and the introduction of a much bigger strand of prehistory and history curriculum. Let's be fair to this government. It's not just this government, is it? Where this government and the previous government placed all their eggs. They're in the basket of the core subject. Now, there's a negative and there's a positive to this. The negative is, frankly, they don't give the monkeys. Really. But there's a positive. They don't give a monkey. So, all their eyes are on English, maths, and a bit of science. That's where their eyes are. And they talk about chronology, they actually talk about inquiry. That's a big difference to the draft. The draft did not talk about inquiry, about investigation, which is, for me, and for Marion, the big thing. You have to get children investigating for themselves. But the answer to the question is 99% of human history doesn't correspond. So you may have heard of, discovered 20 years ago, in the Alps. Not preserved again, but this time by the eye, so different. So he was probably a hunter. The wow stuff is the DNA analysis. And the DNA analysis meant that you could tell he had quite a lot of large Neanderthal ancestry. Almost certainly you could pinpoint his geographical region very, very closely. And this is the final kind of like, I personally think awe and wonder. I think this is one of my favourites of all. Now, this is Seahenge. Now Seahenge looks a bit like a wooden version of Stonehenge. And these poles you see here, well they're not poles, these little sticky things you see here, these would have been, imagine these as great big kind of trunks.
Kids don't mind this kind of stuff, talking about bones and death and whatever, but I don't think they really relate it to themselves like now. So they're quite happy to talk about this kind of thing. So I don't find that a problem. So what can you see? No body, but what else can you see? That's a very difficult one. I'll show you what they are. They're glass. So these are copies. There's no way I could bring the originals are worth thousands of pounds. What else would you need if you were in battle? What would you need? Yeah, a shield. Yeah, like that. So that's the shield boss, you call it, in the middle there. Because there could be a lot of other things in here that have decayed. So although you haven't actually got the body, and you can't analyse the body to say whether it's a man or a woman, you've got all of these artefacts that give you those clues to build up a picture of what this person is about.